Hello, welcome to the Nautilus Project podcast. This is a series of talks that we're bringing you in collaboration with the Nautilus Project to find out everything there is to know about what they are doing and how right here in Gibraltar. I'm very happy to be joined by co-founder of the Nautilus Project, Luis Tanieto, who's just going to explain a little bit more about what you can expect in these podcasts. Thanks for joining me, Luis. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Thanks for having me, Michelle. As a marine conservation NGO based in Gibraltar, the Nautilus Project does a lot of work educating and also researching a lot of the climate issues that affect us and how they affect the marine environment. And the purpose of the podcast is really to connect with experts around the world who specialize in very key areas to do with climate change and conservation, to allow them to explain why the work that they do is so important in maintaining our oceans.
Well, I'm really excited to get going with this. Thank you guys for watching and for listening on all the podcast platforms. We're also going to be coming at you via the Nautilus Project podcast on YouTube and on the Sofa with Rouge on YouTube too. So stay tuned. We're going to be telling you a lot more, everything you need to know. So welcome to another episode of the Nautilus Project. I'm very happy to say that I've got Professor Alex Poulton with me. Good afternoon, Alex. Thank you so much for joining me.
Pleasure.
Alex is a marine ecologist and a biogeochemistry ecologist. How does that work? At the Heriot-Watt University in Edinburgh. So you're in Scotland, which is great.
So I'm very much interested in how marine organisms effectively cycle elements in the ocean. So carbon, nitrogen, iron, nickel, manganese, all kind of different things. So very much interested in the carbon cycle as well as other relevant cycles of the things that effectively support life in the ocean.
Okay, and you're based in Scotland. What is it that you do for the university?
So I am a professor of marine ecology and biogeochemistry. So I research and I do teaching as well. And so it's not quite 50-50. My research is all kinds of different projects at the moment. I have a bit of a global perspective on there. And then I teach earth system sciences and climate change and topics like that.
Okay, do you think the young people of today, or the ones you come across anyway, are interested in climate change?
So certainly the students that we have are very engaged in those topics. I teach MSc level. And so they're often come from various backgrounds and trying to kind of understand the issues more. And we try and teach them around the science, the certainty and the uncertainty of the science, and implications and what's going to happen in the future.
Okay. And tell me about your connection with Luis. So Luis from the Nautilus Project has asked me to get in touch with you. I want to know a little bit about your research projects because I think they're very interesting. And actually, we could talk about the seagrass because I don't know if you know about what's happening here with the seagrass project, which is probably a little bit of you understand it from your background. But tell me how you met Luis.
So I've known Luis, I think about 20 years. So I first met him when he was an undergraduate in Southampton, and I was there as well. And we did a bit of work there. And then when he was in Gibraltar, he contacted me and asked me to collaborate with work that Nautilus is doing and also work that he was doing through his MPhil and his research there. I enjoy doing ocean sciences, and I enjoy doing it, understanding systems anywhere. So the tropics to the poles. And Gibraltar sounds like a very interesting oceanographic setup in terms of the currents and the coastal currents. There's not a huge amount known about the base of the food chain there. And so it was kind of an interesting opportunity to collaborate on a new bit of the ocean.
Great. So you haven't actually been to Gibraltar?
No, Luis has been asking me to come visit for a while.
So now you've got a good reason to come. So Alex, tell me a little bit about some of the research that you've been doing and what are you finding with your research?
So the research we're doing at the moment is looking at, so we look at microscopic organisms and how they impact on the carbon cycle. One of the groups we do quite a lot of projects on the moment is the coccolithophores that form calcium carbonate scales. And when they form them, they also produce CO2. So they also absorb CO2 and they produce CO2. So they actually regulate how the ocean can take up CO2 from the atmosphere in a complicated way. So their lives and deaths very much impacts on how they impact the carbon cycle. So we're quite interested in how they grow, but also how they die.
And what area are you studying in the world? Whereabouts is this project?
So one of the projects we're working in the Iceland Basin.
Okay.
Do that. We also are doing some global synthesis work. And then we have other projects running in the subtropics, in the South Subtropical Gyre. So yeah,
Okay.
spend quite a lot of time at sea on big ships.
Do you, what's that like? I mean,
And it
but it
depends.
depends where.
Well,
It depends what sea you're in.
it's good fun. I don't know if you ever do a field course or an intensive bit of field work, or you get together with a group of people that you don't know. You get to know them in a very limited environment, and you get to have good friends, kind of thing. And that's very much the field work is. It's a challenge, it's an adventure, but you're all in the same boat,
Yeah, you're
kind of
working towards
working
the same
towards the
thing.
same thing.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's quite a rewarding experience.
And what are you learning from what you're finding about the world and the climate, how climate change is affecting it?
Um, so one of the things that did strike us when we were working last year in the Iceland Basin is the warming.
Yeah.
Effectively, there's strong warming impacts, ocean temperatures being anomalously high in 23, 24. Um, Certainly has brought that side of things. I've done a lot of work in the past on ocean acidification and concern about changes in pH, but certainly coupled with warming, there is some kind of things to look out for now, I think.
And what do you think we can do? I mean, we're obviously in the Mediterranean. For anybody watching this and wanting to know a little bit more about our coastline and how we can help, what kind of things can we do?
I think understanding the importance of the ocean and how it supports not only marine ecosystems and the biology, but it also supports the way that the ocean absorbs and has absorbed CO2 from the atmosphere. So ocean chemistry has helped us a lot in the last 15, 20 years by absorbing the excess CO2 that's gone into the atmosphere. A lot of it's gone into the ocean. So recognizing that is important, and just recognizing that in terms of climate change, I think a lot of that starts at home.
Yes.
We can't always wait for the governments to take action. Often we need to do things ourselves. So make choices. And some of the teaching we do around there is thinking about, what are our impacts, as well as thinking about some of the innovative solutions, the nature-based solutions that can help.
And are you finding that that what people are doing is helping at the moment, or do you come across a lot of hostility towards it, or people not really taking it seriously enough?
I think there is a level of denial of change. It's quite difficult to understand change over a long time
Yeah.
when we see the world in a different, our individual perspective. So seeing that long-term trends, I think, is a challenge there. Some things are moving in the right direction, I think, in terms of reducing CO2 emissions. Other things are a little bit uncertain. Politics obviously has a
To
role
do
to
with it.
play,
Yeah.
and economy as well. But I think that trying to avoid the total doom and gloom is a good thing.
Yes. And tell me one last thing. How does the ocean work? I mean, for example, if we talk about the seagrass project, which is what the Nautilus, for example, is working to grow and replant into our ocean right round here, around our coastline. How's that going to help?
So effectively, the seagrass is important in terms of what we call blue carbon. So it's the carbon that's stored inside marine ecology in marine organisms. And effectively, it's quite an important store. It's one that we can actually influence ourselves.
Yeah.
This vast ocean volume we don't have a huge amount of control over. But things like the blue carbon, regenerating coastal ecosystems, regenerating seagrass meadows are really important stores of carbon. and trying to take that carbon out of the atmosphere and put it into a reservoir, into a pool where it's actually stable for a certain amount of time. So it's not active in the atmosphere.
Well, hopefully when it does get replanted, I think they're planning it sometime next year, you could perhaps come along and come and join the fun.
Definitely. I mean, there's a lot of co-benefits, not just
Yeah.
in terms of carbon. Regenerating ecosystems is a great way to improve the environment.
Yeah. What is your biggest passion, Alex, in regards to all this?
Don't know. I guess my biggest passion. So I work at the base of the food chain with plankton that are microscopic that you can't see, and I think trying to improve their appreciation. They do a huge amount of work, but we can barely see them, and they don't get much of a thank you. So I think bringing that to everyone. So we recently organized an International Coccolith Core Day to kind of encourage people to recognize what these organisms are actually doing for us and also for regulating the climate.
Okay, great. Well, it's really insightful to listen to you, and thank you so much for doing what you're doing. And it's a real pleasure to have met you, and I hope to see you here soon. Thank you very much for joining me.
Pleasure. Okay, thanks.
Thank you for joining us today on the Nautilus Project podcast. Here in Gibraltar, at the gateway between the Atlantic and the Mediterranean, we're proud to keep exploring, learning, and protecting the marine world that connects us all. If you've enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe, share the podcast, and leave us a review. It really helps more ocean-minded people find us. You can also follow our work from citizen science initiatives to seagrass restoration by visiting our website or connecting with us on social media. Together, we can inspire change and safeguard our blue planet one story at a time. Until next time, keep curious, keep connected, and keep making waves for the ocean.